Imagine a body consumed by an inexplicable fire, yet the immediate surroundings remain eerily untouched. This is the chilling enigma of spontaneous human combustion, a phenomenon that has baffled scientists, terrified communities, and haunted the fringes of history for centuries. Here, at Echoes of Time, your portal to the forgotten pages of history, we delve into these profound mysteries, seeking to understand the secrets that lie under the dust of centuries, and to tell the stories that never made it into the history books. Today, we journey into the terrifying annals of history's most inexplicable cases of self-immolation, exploring the possibility of a pyre within. For millennia, scattered accounts have spoken of human bodies reportedly bursting into flames without any apparent external source. These bizarre incidents have left behind a legacy of unanswered questions and profound horror, defying conventional understanding and challenging the very fabric of our scientific comprehension. The stark visual paradox is what truly unnerves. A human form reduced to ash, while the delicate objects immediately surrounding it remain pristine, almost mocking the intensity of the inferno that once raged. How could such immense destructive power be so localized? This question has echoed through the ages, a persistent whisper from humanity's great history. One of the most notorious cases that plunged observers into bewildered dread unfolded in the 18th century, involving a woman named Nicole Millet. Her body was discovered as a charred torso, a horrifying testament to an inferno that seemed to defy logic. Yet, the scene around her told a different story. Her bedding, where she was found, remained pristine, untouched by the devastating heat. A chair, standing mere inches from the epicenter of destruction, bore only the barest scorch marks, almost imperceptible. This eerie selectivity of the fire, consuming one element with devastating ferocity while sparing others, became a hallmark of spontaneous human combustion cases, cementing their place as truly inexplicable enigmas. The sheer terror of such an event, the thought of an internal fire raging without mercy, was enough to fuel superstitious dread across various cultures for generations. Centuries later, the mystery persisted, finding its way into the modern age with equally perplexing cases. Consider the mid-20th century death of Mary Reeser. Her remains were largely incinerated in her armchair, a scene of almost complete destruction centered squarely upon her. Yet, much like Nicole Millet's case, the surrounding environment presented an impossible contrast. Her apartment suffered minimal damage. The armchair, though the seat of the conflagration, often showed only partial destruction, leaving parts of its structure intact despite the intensity of the heat that had reduced human bone to ash. These occurrences challenge the very fundamentals of forensic science and physics, pushing the boundaries of what we believe possible. Early attempts to explain these horrifying incidents struggled deeply. In ages past, with limited scientific understanding, such bizarre deaths were often attributed to divine judgment, seen as a wrathful punishment from above. Other explanations ventured into the realm of human vice, with excessive alcohol consumption frequently cited as a supposed trigger, the notion being that a body saturated with spirits could somehow ignite. Perhaps even more terrifying were the theories that suggested demonic possession, believing malevolent forces were responsible for these gruesome ends. These ancient interpretations, while offering a semblance of explanation within the worldview of the time, provided little in the way of scientific solace. They only fueled a deeper, more primal fear as they grappled with reconciling the immense, almost crematory power of the burning with its eerily localized nature. The sheer impossibility of it, through the lens of early understanding, transformed these victims into symbols of profound horror, their fates woven into the fabric of folklore and cautionary tales. As centuries turned and scientific inquiry began to shed light on many of history's dark corners, the enigma of spontaneous human combustion continued to resist easy answers. The push for rational understanding, for separating fact from folklore, intensified. Modern scientific inquiry sought to rationalize the irrational, to bring the cold light of reason to a phenomenon steeped in dread and superstition. Researchers, pathologists, and fire investigators meticulously scrutinized every shred of evidence, every report, desperate to find a conventional explanation for these unconventional deaths. The leading hypothesis to emerge from this rigorous inquiry is known as the wick effect. This theory draws an analogy between a human body and a burning candle. It suggests that a victim's body fat, when ignited by a small external spark, perhaps a dropped cigarette, a stray ember, or even a fault in an electrical appliance, can act like the wax in a candle, and the victim's clothing or hair can serve as the wick. According to this model, once ignited, the body fat would slowly melt and soak into the clothing, providing a continuous fuel source. The fire would then smolder for many hours, consuming the flesh gradually, much like a candle slowly burns down. This process, it is argued, could explain the intense, localized burning that often leaves surroundings relatively untouched, as the body itself becomes the fuel, isolating the heat within its immediate vicinity. It offers a plausible mechanism for sustained, high-temperature combustion without needing a large external fuel source. However, even the most widely accepted scientific explanation has its critics and its limitations. The wick effect, despite its apparent logic, often struggles to explain some of the most perplexing characteristics of these cases. One significant challenge lies in the selective nature of the burning, which frequently leaves certain extremities intact. A foot, a hand, or even part of a limb might remain, seemingly untouched, while the torso is completely consumed. If the entire body is acting as a fuel source, why would the fire stop so abruptly and selectively? Furthermore, the wick effect typically describes a smoldering, lower temperature burn. Yet many spontaneous human combustion cases exhibit evidence of incredibly intense, almost crematory temperatures, sufficient to reduce dense human bones to ash. Such a degree of bone incineration usually requires temperatures far exceeding what a simple body fat fire is believed to generate, often seen only in professional crematoriums operating at extreme heat for extended periods. This discrepancy presents a substantial hurdle for the wick effect, leaving a critical gap in its explanatory power. As the debate rages on, other theories, often more speculative, have entered the discourse, attempting to account for these seemingly impossible events. Some researchers have ventured into the realm of internal chemical imbalances, suggesting that certain metabolic conditions or unique bodily compositions could potentially generate enough heat or flammable substances internally to trigger combustion. Others propose rare bacterial reactions within the gut, which might produce significant quantities of methane gas, a highly flammable substance. While the igniting mechanism for such internally generated gas remains unclear, it points to a search for an intrinsic rather than extrinsic cause. More fringe theories delve into highly speculative ideas involving static electricity accumulating within the body, unusual geomagnetic fields influencing cellular processes, or even subatomic phenomena, which, though lacking concrete evidence, highlight the desperation to find an explanation beyond conventional understanding. These hypotheses, while not widely accepted, underscore the profound mystery that spontaneous human combustion represents and the lengths to which scientific minds will go to seek answers. So, where do we stand today? Is spontaneous human combustion a freak of natural law, an incredibly rare confluence of circumstances that defies common sense? Or is it a tragic misinterpretation of forensic evidence, a phenomenon that, with more advanced tools and understanding, could eventually be explained by entirely conventional means, perhaps by a combination of factors that were simply overlooked or misunderstood in earlier investigations? Or, most hauntingly, Could it be a profound mystery that still lies beyond humanity's current scientific grasp, a secret buried under centuries of dust, patiently waiting for the day its true nature is unveiled? At Echoes of Time, our mission is to journey through these ages, where every discovery is an echo of humanity's great history. We meticulously dissect the terrifying annals of history's most inexplicable spontaneous human combustion cases, separating fact from folklore, scrutinizing forensic evidence with a critical eye, and exploring every hypothesis, no matter how conventional or radical, in our relentless quest for answers where none seem to exist. We delve into the past to better understand the present, uncovering secrets that have baffled generations. Join us as we continue to shine a light into the forgotten pages of history, piecing together fragments of truth from the depths of human experience. What internal forces, what external catalysts, what unknown laws of nature might truly be at play when a body becomes a pyre within? And how many other mysteries, equally profound and unsettling, still await discovery in the vast, uncharted territories of our shared past?